Here we go, guys. Tuesday, July 20th. We've had some requests, and it's been a minute since I did the stock market, U.S. markets update. We're going to do the Dow Jones, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Russell 2000, the same old suspects. And first thing you see here, this is the weekly chart. Every candle's 1 week of price action. And this is probably the best or the easiest way to read these markets. And as you know, we also put indicators on, draw lines on there. And so I just took those off just, not to clutter the chart, because these are mainly on the daily chart. Now, this is the daily chart. Each candle is 1 day of price action. And as you can see, we had a little double top up here where the red dash line is. That's the first thing to know. Second thing is our long-term uptrend line. We broke through it, came back up, couldn't get, back over the little double top area or the all-time high area, came back down, and then we made this high, lower high area, fell through the 20, and then got back up over it. Even today, got back over that. So I want to take that off just to stop the clutter. And then this is going to be our near-term pivot support. We don't want to lose it, because technically you have a low, higher low, and then we'll see if we can come back up and retest this long-term, not long-term, but little double top area here, where we made our all-time high over here on May 10th, then kind of fell off a little bit, then came back up. And really, unless we put in let me see if I can find it, price, a 10%, which I think is down at the 200, that purple line, close, 9, just over 9%, 10 would be right in here, just under. You could get a wick from the 200 down here to make a 10% pullback. As long as we bounce off the 200, I could care less, about the U.S. stock markets. They're, relatively strong. Yeah, a lot of things are, a lot of stocks are well overpriced, and so on and so forth, based, to, compared to earnings, so on and so forth. But they're going to keep this thing running and gunning. It's the only thing holding up, everyone's 401ks, 203bs, retirements, everything else. So, maybe not forever, but hopefully short term here, they will keep it propped up. And, of course, what do we see here? Really, this is not that bad. We've been using this on the crypto charts. Just basically sideways consolidation. Now we had a really right in here, kind of having a little, if we take this first low pivot there, and where we've been bouncing around from, we closed out, then the next day they ran it back up, which is really more scary than the big drop we had yesterday. Of course, it gapped down, and we gapped down here. Let me get rid of that. Well, you know what, I'm going to leave it up here, kind of give a visualization of, where we are and kind of the price action here. Now, if we take out this low pivot and then, come out of the box again, that could bring us on down to the 200, and that's where you want to short everything out there. Now, the Dow Jones transportation, this is supposed to be a good indication, the health of the, what am I thinking, the economy and everything, because everything gets, travels by truck and train and all. And when those things start coming down in price or, lacking strength, then you kind of know the whole market's going to be weaker. And as you see, we're an uptrend and a wedge formation, and 99% of the time they break to the downside, which is what happened. Caught this high pivot, this little consolidation zone here. See all this, how we kind of went sideways, just up and down, came down to it, and then we bounced today. And this is already been down quite a bit. What was the low yesterday? Wow, see, it's already been down almost 12, well over 12%, almost 13%. So we'll see if we can pull back up out of here. But reason why I'm showing this is one of the indicators, as well as copper, if I can find it. Here it is. That are kind of leading indicators that the market is getting weaker and weaker. And as you can see, copper started getting weak way back here in May, towards the middle to end of May, when we started trading under the 20. And we finally got back over it here for a few weeks, and then now, yesterday, and then today, we're back under it. We were in this long-term uptrend line going back to 2020 March, and came up here to the all-time high, and then we were trading this down channel here where the green lines are, and then we started, and that's how you come out of that channel. You either go sideways and up, or you just go almost like a V recovery straight up. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. And this high pivot over here, pivot here, support, 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 until we melted under it. And then now we're trying to get back over that 730, let's call it. And then the SPX, S&P 500 on the daily. This wedge formation, right here. Like we were saying, obviously each time you break down over it. Now, this is the trick. A lot of times you'll break down a long-term support, like this blue line has been support for a very long time, okay? Broke out of it, then the next day, boom, they saved it. We had a bigger pullback this time under that blue support line, and we closed it on the 20 like we did here, but this is a lot bigger candle, and what did we do today? Barely got back over the 20. The next day here we got over the 20, and then for the next few weeks we're inside this channel again. But what's concerning here, a lot of times you will, when you break down that hard, you'll come back up, retest that previous support, and then it will now become resistance, and then you'll roll back over, and that's not good at all. Okay. So we'll see. I think they'll save it, but hey, we'll see. Now from the low, the low already down. Well, what I need to do really is go to the recent high. Okay, 11% from here to the bottom is about 11%. So if we break here and then break this one, then odds are we'll go down here, and that's going to, as it's coming down. If we break this trend line here, start closing under yesterday's candle close, you'll be hearing a lot of chirping on the, business news places and everything else. The bottom's falling out. But you got to look in kind of a perspective of where we came from, just back in 2020. This is a NASDAQ, and it generally runs a little bit faster and harder, either up or down, than the other markets. That's why we like to watch it. We're inside this price channel to the upside, and then within that channel we have this little uptrend line, because we were almost going parabolic here since the middle of May this year, the end of May, and then couldn't, kind of stagnant in this area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. We couldn't really push much higher. We fell back in, our closed red, and then that was a gap from there to here. And then today we closed back up over the 20, which is positive, but we will see what comes next. But yeah, we could very well, well, let me take that out so it's not distracting. We could very well come back and retest this long-term uptrend line, and we'll see if that holds. This should be, that's no longer valid, but this should be pretty good resistance or support here if we come down. See how it intersects our trend line there around that area, because you have sideways consolidation here, and consolidation there, and both of those should offer a little help. Let's just call it 14,000. And then here's the Russell. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, man, we dropped out of this. See, sideways consolidation up in here, pretty much. And then we started moving up higher lows, but we kept topping out up here, just really right under that red dashed line on the Russell 2000, and then boom, got under the 20 and have not been able to get back up there. We almost came down and hit the what am I thinking, from the all-time high to where we are now is 10. Wow. And then the 200 is about a little over 11%. So, but I mean, it did it and then saved itself. So we'll see. A lot of times, like I was saying, you'll break down. So this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be like a little test model here, as we touched down here, low pivot, bounced off of it, tried to bounce here, follow through there, closed on it, then 1, 2, 3, last 4 trading days, obviously also last week, closed under it. So we might come back up, and what I'm thinking, we will bounce up, hit it and the 20 and roll back over. And if we don't come back lower, then we'll make it come down, make a higher low and go. So there's your W, down, up, make a higher low and go. As long as we don't take out that low pivot, we'll go. Ooh, I just saw that. Wow. There's several, I don't know why that's, okay, let me do this. Oh, come on. Okay, well, let me see if I can extend that over. No, that doesn't really do anything. But if you look at that, that's kind of cool. Wicked into this area. None of that was here. Wicked into here, came up, came back, did a pivot to the upside. Remember, red, green, pivot to the upside. So that's a pivot. Right here's a pivot. Very interesting. So that, remember, the more times we slam on that 2,100 area, the weaker it becomes. Just like taking a hammer, banging it on a brick will break through and down to the downside. So need to be watching that. If that breaks, then probably the rest of the market will follow. In the Qs, kind of the same thing as other indexes. We came, almost parabolic straight up. So yeah, we need to come back down. So it's not going to hurt anything. Come back down, even touch this uptrend line and stuff. Now let's look at the dollar we covered earlier. It's trying to get a little stronger here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So really, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, before Friday, we should see a red candle or a pause candle pull back. Because we're on that strong time count. 1, 2, 3, 4, going on 5. So either tomorrow or the next day, we could see a red dollar here, price action that is. Now gold, pulling back a little bit. Okay, what do we have here? Let's look at this serious. Okay, let me pull this down. Let's see, maybe that 20 will hold. Let's see where the next pivot area is. Really right over here in the 20. See, high pivot, roll down, high pivot, roll down. Then we went through. So that was all resistance. Then we went through it, couldn't get through. More resistance. Even this candle here closed under, was all the way back up here. Then we got over it, closed over that line. Test, all these are tests. So maybe with the 20 being there and this, pivot location, and we'll just call it, 1,000, let's call it 1,800. Because it's really, so it comes in at 1,794, just call it 1,800 for even round numbers. Needs to hold, okay? Oh my goodness, I haven't seen this in a while. Silver, because of that strong dollar, silver's come down. Here's our next low pivot right there. And we're on the time count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe Thursday we should get a bounce. If not, we'll come down to this low pivot there that kind of matches over here. See all this here? Wicks, all these wicks, but they never closed under it. We were riding the 20, and it bounced up. Then a few weeks later, came back, retested it, and then went up. Okay, test here. So it looks like 24 bucks, around 24 bucks even is a good solid area. And then I'm going to bring this resistance down. See how it kept us, that high pivot here, double top, kept everything from going up. Plus it was a stronger dollar too. I can't deny that. So all of this is going to be resistance as we try to come back up. Plus you have the 200, plus you have the 20. So it's going to be a tough day in the neighborhood for silver as it tries to make its way back up and out of this hole that it's dug for itself. And with the dollar being hopefully becoming weaker sooner, maybe that'll help bounce it. But okay, guys, thanks for hanging in there. Just want to do an update on this stuff, and we will see you on the charts.